Well, it's something we do already today. I mean, the ability to switch between 2D and 3D is kind of built in. So, I mean, one of the biggest kind of limiting factors on the PC is a high enough refresh rate of the monitors. And whether you're doing it in 2D or 3D, it's kind of all seamless. So, whether you're viewing content, whether it's a game, photo, or movie, we have the ability to basically turn on and off that feature in real time. So, I don't think we see it as an issue right now.
Okay, great. So one thing that I don't think that people also think about when they are thinking about 3D is that it is a powerful tool to educate kids and bring them more into the content that you're trying to share and bring it alive for them. And so, you know, one of the people who is very active in this is Texas Instruments. And actually, Mike, I think that you have quite a bit of experience. And if you could just tell us, first off, how is 3D being used today in classrooms?
Yeah, well, a quick introduction. I'm actually with the DLP division, which, how many of y'all know what DLP technology is? Okay. How many of you saw Avatar in the movie theater? A lot of you guys.
Digital light processing.
Yes. DLP Cinema produced that image on the screen for Avatar in 3D, and it's actually this chip right here. And in that silver square, there's actually 2 million individual microscopic mirrors that flip like 5,000 times a second to create the digital image on the screen. And DLP has actually found that over half of the world's data projectors worldwide are just produced for classrooms. Yeah, sure. Yeah. And what we did is we took that core 3D technology from the movie theater and we shrunk it down to fit into a regular $500 classroom projector. And it's the only imaging technology that can do 3D for one single projector. We actually shrunk it even further. This cell phone from Samsung has a DLP projector in it too, which is kind of cool. But what we have found is that teaching in 3D is a whole different dynamic. But the use of 3D in the classroom is very different as well. You're not talking about sitting in front of in a classroom and watching 2 hours worth of 3D content. We were actually surprised when we looked into this how much 3D content for teaching is actually out there already. A lot of it's due to the desktop 3D environment that NVIDIA has helped support, where you've got human anatomy, geology, geography, flying through the solar system in 3D. This content already exists. What we were able to do was take it and put it into the big screen experience. And we have about 7 or 8 different pilot programs already around the US, Europe, and China, where they're using 3D already to teach different topics, complex topics like molecular structure or shapes or sizes, all from K through 12. But it's done in a very unique way because it's not there to change the teacher's methodology for teaching. It supplements their current curriculum. So they might have a lesson plan about the human ear. And then when it comes time to talk about the different elements of the human ear, they'll put up a lesson plan that has 3D elements about the human ear, and they can move it around and interact. They can go zoom into the ear. And let me tell you, when you are sitting in a classroom with kids who they all put glasses on to go learn something in 3D, that classroom goes crazy. They get so engaged and so excited. It's really amazing.
So is it sort of like Magic School Bus where they're sort of almost getting in there and being able to interact with it?
It really is. Actually, there's several different schools that have learned a lot of things about it. There was a study done in the state of Illinois, funded by a government grant, and there's over 1,000 students that were taught. 500 were taught in 2D on the human ear, and the other 500 were taught in 3D. It's the same lesson plan, the same instructor. But the group that was taught in 3D had 35% increases in their test scores. And it was because they were not only engaged in the lesson plan, but their comprehension and the retention of information was much higher. And I had a teacher who told me that when she taught in 3D, she actually had a lot of, she's in a school that has ADD and other students who have learning disabilities. She says the first time in the 20 years she's ever taught where she didn't have disruption in the classroom during the lesson.
But sir, I'm in 3D. And I was a classroom teacher, and I was always in 3D the entire time I was in the square. And my kids can listen to me. So I'm just wondering if it might be a novelty effect a little bit. But.
You know, I think it's dependent on the lesson plan. I mean, there are hard things to grasp, and whether it be shapes and molecules or science, or even taking a classroom on a 15-minute ride through the Grand Canyon on a field trip without having to get permission slips and pack lunch. Things like that, what really engages them at a new level and teaches them in a way that they can't necessarily grasp or even really get engaged in a 2D level. And we've just really been excited about it. And I think the key thing is that The students today are surrounded with technology outside the classroom. They got 3D in the movie theater. They got 3D coming at home. Look, all the TVs out there on the floor that are 3D. And why can't you use that tool to teach with? Well, it's showing that it's becoming quite effective, and we're seeing some significant growth there. I actually have a...
Yes, we have a little video for you. So let me...
One of our pilot programs that we have at Hamilton Park is a day center school, and this is just some feedback from some of the students, and we'll try to look at this on this dim projector that's out there.
Always have a back.
We don't have any audio. Yes, there is sound.
Well, basically, I can narrate what this thing's saying.
You'll introduce something and then you lose their attention.
Looks like the video's not playing, however, but yeah, it's not playing. Well, I'm not sure why the video's not playing. That's okay. I'll just talk about it. Basically, what you're learning is just that students, and you should see what happens when they're talking about 3D. Like, oh my gosh! In fact, my son, of course, he's in 6th grade, and he's in the Plano school district in near Dallas. And I had to outfit his classroom in 3D. I don't know why, but anyway, and I'll never forget. He came running home from school and he was like, "Oh my God! I had the most amazing biology lessons today." And I was thinking, how many kids come home excited about the biology lesson they had today? And he was explaining how they learned about the human anatomy and the nervous system and the parts of the brain, and they got to navigate. And it was like, and then we get to the solar system. It was just really amazing. But again, the teaching methodology is very different because it's just short bursts of 10 minutes of 3D on the screen. The teacher goes right back into the supplemental learning. So it is quite different than you'd see where you've got kids in gaming where they might be watching it for 7 or 8 or 10 or however long hours, or in the movie theater where they're doing it for 2.5 hours or 3 hours on the screen. But we've just found it to be a very useful tool. And if any of you are familiar with TI, I don't know how many of you work with TI calculators in school. And TI is really committed to educating, helping kids learn more in the classroom. And we're just super excited that it's really picking up. And I guess if any of y'all go online, you learn about the school district in Boulder ISD in Colorado. They require that every projector they install is 3D ready. And they're not necessarily teaching in 3D today, but they want the projector to be able to do it when they're ready. And so you're finding a lot more of that happening.
Great. So we're going to move on, and some people might be wondering, so my child is being exposed to 3D content, they might have some discomfort. Where is that all going, and how do we know when there's an issue, when should they be tested? And we have some great information from our resident doctor here, Dominic. But first, let's take a look. We'll hopefully take a look at this quick video. Yep.
First of all, I have to tell you, I'm absolutely amazed how real all of you look in 3D. That's incredible. So this is really good. I noticed as they were passing out my high-tech string, I had lots of smiles. We're going to actually use these to find out if any of you have issues with 3D and a few other items as well. But before I start, let's watch the video.
Hollywood's latest 3D trend is thriller audiences way over fans. But is your 3D experience not as vivid or comfortable as you'd like? If so, you're not alone. Up to 9 million people have vision problems preventing them from enjoying 3D.
Individuals with eye coordination and focusing problems would find it very difficult to enjoy 3D movies or television.
For the 3D effect to work, each eye views a different piece of the picture. Your brain then combines them into one image. But with a vision problem, your brain cannot properly combine the images, causing discomfort and the inability to see the image in 3D. A doctor of optometry can diagnose potential problems with your eyes or vision. You may even be a candidate for optometric vision therapy, a sequence of prescribed activities that help develop visual skills and processing and may ultimately enhance your vision and your 3D experience. If you or a loved one is interested in learning more about vision therapy or to find an optometrist in your area, visit AOA.org.